Hi, today I'm going to be welcoming two very, very esteemed guests to our first podcast of Ask a Professional. So this podcast is sponsored by GP, and today we have two interesting and esteemed guests from Afton Chemicals. We have Elamin, Abbasher, and we have Qais, Shaban. So thank you guys for joining us.
Thank you. We're ready to be here.
Of course. So today's podcast is going to be about a few very, very important things, explaining what a technology partner is, explaining what Afton Chemicals are to lubricants, and what's happening in the global world when it comes to additives, when it comes to lubricants. And the reason why this podcast has actually been started, to be honest, and we appreciate you guys to be coming here, is for the fact that we want the customer to actually know what's being put in his car, to actually know and be educated about what this is. So thank you guys again, and let's talk about Afton. So guys, please tell us, what is Afton?
So Afton Chemical, we are one of the major suppliers of additives around the world. So we are, as Afton Chemical, we have a parent company. It's called New Market Corporation, which is listed in the stock exchange of the New York Stock Exchange. So we've been producing lubricants and fuel additives for over than 100 years. We have more than 1,900 employees worldwide. We have 7 manufacturing sites, 6 technology centers, and 20 offices around the world. So we operate in more than 80 countries now. And with our brand in Afton Chemical, it's called Haider, which is the we introduce to our customers the solution. We have more than 1,000 products to support our customers' needs.
Amazing. I mean, this was in our industry, we all know Afton as one of the market leaders and obviously considered as one of the top 4 technology partners in the world. So this question, a lot of people like to have technology partner. What is a technology partner for lubricants? So could you guys explain what being a technology partner means?
So yeah, we have passion for solution, slogan.
Yeah, passion for solution. That's the slogan Afton runs by,
yes.
Right?
So, which means that with our chemistry and the people in Afton, with our customers, we combine all these to find the right solution for the customer by analyzing the market that the customer wants to go to, analyzing the what the customer is aiming to. So we work with our chemistry, our people, and the customer to find the right solution for him to success. So we believe that if the customer is successful, Afton is successful.
So how would you say, how does Afton actually frame themselves in the industry? What makes them maybe better or outstand in front of everybody in the industry?
So
stand out, sorry.
So as I said, just to I don't want to repeat myself, but the Afton mindset is to work with the customer and the OEMs to help the customer to success. So we not just as sellers or manufacturers of additives, we help the customer success as well.
Okay, so now I'm going to talk to you guys about, we're going to talk about the conventional oils and how they work a bit later, but I would like to understand, what does Afton's mindset and what do they believe about EV, and what do they believe about what are they doing for the EV world of lubricants?
Yeah, so I think Afton, when it comes to the EV or in general the other application that you'll find when it comes to the engine oil is trying to be up to date, trying to provide solutions to customers and keep them also updated with the global trends that's happening. So Afton been in the EV since very long time, kind of producing products that are dedicated for EV application. Beside the EV, what we also see as much as really growing is the hybrid, which is kind of taking a more share compared to the
interested about this because us as a company, we with the help of Afton obviously have just started to increase and produce this line of hybrid oils. So I'd like you to touch about that and help explain to our customers why is it important to have specific hybrid oils being consumed in your vehicles, which are plug-in hybrids, because globally, and this is my opinion, obviously this is not a research thing that I'm saying, but a lot of customers find it difficult to buy a EV car because of the infrastructure not fully being developed for the recharging, not being able to be driven long terrain. So for example, if a customer wants to go from one city to another city, especially in bigger countries where they use a lot of vehicles or passenger cars are used all over, and again with the heavy machinery, I believe that's going to take a lot of time, right?
Yeah.
So would you want to touch about on these points?
Yeah, so I think when it comes to the passenger cars, it's where we see the hybrid is really taking share. The adoption of hybrid is more than the AV. As you mentioned, probably the infrastructure still not well prepared in many of the regions, but hybrid has been in the market for a long time. There is a focus now globally from the OEMs towards investing more in the hybrid. Now coming back to the point you mentioned around what are the key differences between the hybrid,
the oils especially.
Yeah, so again, taking that down into the hardware type. So with the hybrid, you will have additional pieces that will not only be the engine, so you'll have a battery which will act with or in parallel with the engine. So on top of the engine normal requirements, you will need additional parameters that would be linked to the hybrid. And with that, you would think of the corrosion protection. You would think of the compatibility as well with the electrical parts that you'll find in the hybrid vehicle. So there are some additional requirements with a hybrid.
So that's what the oil is actually different, which is being produced, right?
Exactly, because with the hybrid, sometimes you will not have that high temperature, the same temperature that you'll find in the normal.
That's why they're lower viscous engine oils.
And then there is more probability to have water within the system.
So now this is from the horse's mouth, huh? So if you have a hybrid car, plug-in hybrid, you should definitely make sure you're buying a plug-in hybrid oil as well. And we proudly produce that oil now because of the help of our technology partner, and I think that's what Afton does so well. So whenever there's a room in the market, they come and they support your customer base and make sure they're up there with any kind of new technology coming in. Now, what do you think about the electric cars in the heavy machinery and the heavy industry or the heavy trucking vehicles?
Yeah, so I think that is a bit lagging, if I say, compared to the passenger cars. There are some definitely work on the hybrid, on the heavy duty part for the engine oils, but that's not really getting the momentum globally. I would say also on the industrial part, there's more thinking towards the turbine, to have some turbine that more electrified, but I think that's still yet to come.
It's still going to take time. Yeah, I mean, I think you're right, because for the heavy machinery already in the developed part of the world, the roads have like a weight, a net weight that the road can hold. Already the vehicles are heavy enough. With electric vehicles, I think they will be heavier. So obviously it's going to allow the net weight to be lower, which will cost transport to be more expensive. And I think that's going to be an actual issue in the long run, right? Yeah. Okay. Now, would you like to give us a brief touch on how important an additive partner is for a lubricant company?
Yes, so I think one of the key points we really focus on is the compliance within Afton. And that means whatever specs that we claim, we support that with data. So we work with the API, with the ASEA, we have partnership with the OEMs as well to ensure that our products are fully tested as per all the code of conducts. And we share these data with our customers. And that collaboration is not only about meeting those standards, but about also how we can probably give a solution that would exceed those standards and try to help our customers stand out in the market as well by creating additional value for their products. Yeah.
Now, another very important question which comes into mind of the customers or the consumers is, what's the difference between a synthetic and a non-synthetic oil, right? And I would request you to make it as simple as possible, because when we go in, I mean, for me, for example, look, I'm in the lubricants industry, so I'll understand it much better. It's like when you go to a doctor and he tells you, okay, take this medicine, you're not going to try to understand what the chemical formulations are. So I would like you to give us a very, very, simple understanding between a synthetic and a non-synthetic. So when a customer goes and he wants to understand, and maybe his mechanic is trying to push him for a non-synthetic or a synthetic, he should know why.
Yeah. Okay. So that's a good question. I think, so when we compare synthetic with what we call it mineral, that will come down into the base oil, essentially. And this is the key ingredients of the formulation, or what you'll find in that pack you will put in your car. So the mineral or the non-synthetic, those are mainly been produced from the crude oil, so they contain more impurities, and those been in the market for a very long time, and they have even certain levels like a group 1, group 2, group 3. So as much as you go with the groups, you'll be getting a better quality.
So in layman, a synthetic product is better in quality. It's because it doesn't have impurities of crude.
Yes.
And it's also probably more sustainable, right?
Exactly.
As now the global trend is being sustainable.
Yeah. So the synthetic is more or less more of, if you like, an engineered base oil. So it's
like a lab-grown diamond.
Exactly. Yeah. So it's one of a tailor-made, yeah. And you tailor-made that product basically to meet certain performance requirements. So some of these would be, as you rightly mentioned, meeting the latest kind of drivers around fuel economy. Again, we spoke about hybrid vehicles. So with that, you need low viscosities, you need low pumpability performance. And also it would be very helpful for harsh conditions where you have really high temperature.
Or low temperatures.
Low temperatures to some extent as well. So with that, it will be...
So it's bioengineered in that way to manage it, right?
Yeah, so you will have that custom made to meet those requirements.
And what about the cleansing parts? Engine oils, a lot of people don't understand what actually is an engine oil doing in a car. 90% of people, you ask them, I need to get an oil change, and you ask them, why do they need to get an oil change? They have no idea. They just say, oh, because I'm supposed to, right?
Yeah.
So would you want to enlighten us, why do we need to get an oil change?
Yeah, so the lubricant, one of the key functions is to protect the engine, also to clean the engine, and that will act as a detergent. So it has some detergent dispersant mix that will...
And obviously engine is made of steel components, so that's why it's very important that you constantly clean it, right?
Yeah, and that is, again, will come down into the protection part, the cleanness part. So
I'm just trying to play the devil's advocate as being a consumer, right? Trying to be very, very simple, asking you layman questions, because I had this, it's a very funny story. So, my wife, she started driving her car, and she goes to me, she goes like, what's so strange? I said, what? She's like, I've been driving a car and you work in an oil company, an engine oil lubricants company, and I have no idea, how do I do an oil change? Why should I do an oil change? And what is an oil change? So I would like you to just, give a bit of an understanding on this as well, because we would like people to feel and understand what this is. And that's why this podcast talks about speaking to a professional and someone coming from Afton, such a recognized organization globally of additives, could just give us a bit of an insight on that too.
Yeah. So I think one of the key things is you need to choose the right lubricant for your engine. So, and the best thing to answer that is to look what the OEM really recommend, because the OEM in general, they would give you the right specifications that you need to follow, and with that would be the best way to protect your hardware. Now, the other part I think which is also important, is to choose the right channel to change the oil. So you need to kind of pick up the right place to make sure that you have your oil change
and the right brand.
Yeah.
So another point which comes into my mind is, what's the benefit of now using synthetic oils? What does it do more than the non-synthetic? You briefly touched upon it recently just now, but I'd like to know that, point-wise, what would be the better element?
Yeah, so synthetic will allow better protection for the engine. So new formulations that are developed to meet the latest specifications, more or less moving towards synthetic. So all the light viscosities, and that is the main trend in the industry, is kind of requiring synthetic base oils. So it will provide a better protection, a better fuel economy, a better emission control. So all of this will act as benefits of using the synthetic oils.
Great.
And it helps also in the fuel economy. So customers who are looking for
longer
use of their fuel, so synthetics will help.
And how does it do that? So it cleans the engine better, or what is it? Does it do better combustion of any carbon footprint, or how does it actually, what Mr. Qais is saying, how does it support the longer fuel economy or better fuel economy? How does that happen?
If I want to make it a bit simple, so it's more driven by a less friction. So whenever you have a less friction, you have a less loss of power, which will then lead to a better fuel economy.
Perfect. I mean, this is what the consumer probably wants to hear. What does it do? How does it do? And that's what we're trying to do today.
Yeah.
Now, one of my other questions for you guys would be in regards to Afton. What do they do to make sure that the global standards are being met? Or, for example, if they're working with a customer such as our sponsor GP, what do they do to make sure that all the standards are being met? How are they, because if a customer is using their additive solution, how does it make sure that it's actually being done, or recognize that it's actually prominently being used in their product?
So I'll tell you something. Like I mentioned before that we have 6 technology centers, and one of the main purpose of these centers is to work with the OEMs, API, ICEA, for their future, let's say, what they are going to bring. We are working with them hand to hand to develop newer technologies. And once they are introduced in the market, and the new engines or the new APIs, we will be ready with our technology to meet or exceed these standards, the new standards. So we have dedicated teams working with most of the OEMs around the world.
Wow.
And their job is to ensure we are having the best technology introduced to the market, to our customers when it's launched.
Amazing. I mean, this is what is the most important thing. Obviously, when cars for people are sometimes I feel, this is my opinion, right? And for me, my car is like my baby. I like to take care of it more than anything else. Make sure she's rise and shine, clean, engine is doing well, car is in perfect condition. So it's a car has so much value and emotion to individuals, male, females, everyone. So how much do you think an engine oil is important for that individual?
Let me because we are here, like I've been in the industry more than 18 years.
Yeah.
And I saw and heard so many stories and seen so many end users. They are where, for example, they are using the wrong oil or they have wrong perception of the lubricant. The lubricant, it's really very important to like longer the life of the vehicle. Like I'll give you an example. When we talked about you talked about the carbon footprint. So basically, like in the engine, there is fuel. It's being burned.
Yeah.
So it will create a carbon.
Yeah.
This carbon will go inside the engine, and the lubricant, the
constant flow of the lubricant in the engine.
Yeah, it need to clean this carbon footprint. So when you drain the oil,
when it's black, it's good, huh?
When it's black, it's good.
Exactly. It has to be black.
I've seen many end users.
When it's not black,
they think it's good, which is
that's true. You know, that's so true, because so many times when I've seen engine oil changes, or when I go to the customers and the customer says, "Oh, but the product is still golden," so probably it's not doing its job, right?
It's not doing anything.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, I mean, thank you guys. Thank you for coming on board today, and I think this was a great first discussion between Afton team and on the Ask a Professional. So we will definitely be having these guys back after our questions from our customers and our viewers. And hopefully we will have some more information coming from the Afton team in the future. Thank you so much for coming, guys.
For having us. Thank you very much.
Thank you.